Hi, good evening, everyone. Let me know if my voice is clear and my screen is visible. You all can respond in the chat box. Kindly let me know if my screen is visible and my voice is clear. Okay, thank you for your confirmation, everyone. Let me welcome you on behalf of HR India Solutions. We are 10-year-old HR consulting firm, primarily into recruitment. We also take care of contract staffing and payroll. We are also into HR advisory and consulting services. And finally, we are also into campus placement and HR online practical training. So this is the course which we are offering, online HR Generalist Practical Training course, which has got three important modules. The very first module is of labor laws and statutory compliances, under which we discuss almost all the important and major labor laws in India, right from Provident Fund to ESIC Act, and we try to understand on which part of salary PF and ESIC are applicable, how the monthly contributions are calculated, how the monthly challans are prepared, and finally how these payments are paid to government by logging into government website. The other labor laws which we cover under this module are Maternity Benefit Act, and we try to understand which all employees are eligible to get maternity benefit, and as a HR professional, what all benefit you should give to the women employees. The other act which we cover are Payment of Bonus Act and Payment of Gratuity Act, and we understand which all employees are eligible to get this benefit, how these benefits are calculated and paid to the employee. The second module which we have under this online HR Generalist Practical Training course is Compensation and Benefit, which is related to CTC and Excel designing, payroll handling, salary breakup, and we understand how CTC structure is designed, what are the important components which one should take care of while designing CTC and Excel. We understand what is CTC, what is gross salary, what is net salary. We also see that how the payroll can be managed through software and how it can be done from Excel files. We also understand income tax, professional tax, loss of pay, overtime calculation payment, leaves and holidays. And finally, we see that how full and final settlement of employees are done at the time of going. The third and final module which we have under this course is recruitment and selection, which is everything related to talent acquisition. And under this module, we understand what are job description, what is job specification, what are the various sourcing strategies nowadays corporate are using. We train people on Naukri.com so that they become capable of finding suitable candidates on the basis of various keyword and key skills and job description. We also see how the mass mailing can be done, what is the proper way of job posting so that your information reaches to the right number of candidates. Nowadays, technology has started playing important role. It is not HR manager who sits and screen every application. Now technology is screening and rejecting applications. So we see that how various ATS, applicant tracking systems, and various RMS, recruitment management softwares are working. We also see that what important role LinkedIn is playing in recruitment. Then we have a dedicated session of CV writing and interview skills under this module. So this is all about the course which we are offering. Let's proceed with the today's demo. Before we proceed with today's demo, just wanted to have an idea of what kind of audiences we have. Kindly let us know how much experience do you have in HR. There would be a poll which would be appearing. The poll is live, everyone. Kindly share your responses on the poll. How much experience do you have in HR? Once we receive 80% of the total response, we will proceed further. We have already received 90%. Let me stop the poll and share you the result. Today we have 81% population who are freshers. We have people from 1 to 3 years experience. We also have people from 4 to 7 years experience. And there are a few people who has got more than 7 years experience also. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for your response. So today's demo is on compensation and benefit management. Compensation and benefit is an important function of HR. Why it is important function of HR? As a function of HR, CNB is responsible for deciding what to pay. Whenever any company goes for hiring any position or any profile, this is the function of HR who decide that how much should be paid to any position. CNB as a function of HR is also responsible for deciding how to pay. I am referring to breakup. What amount should be fixed, how much should be variable is something which this function takes care of. Compensation and benefit also decides when it should be paid. I am referring to timeline. There are many companies who pay incentive on a monthly basis. There are good amount of companies who pay incentive on quarterly basis. And then we have good amount of companies who are paying performance incentive or performance bonus on an annual basis. And finally, compensation and benefit as a function of HR is also responsible for paying compensation and benefit to the entire employees. This is an important function, but this is not easy. Why it is not easy? Due to absence of law. We have law regarding Provident Fund, we have law on ESIC Act, we have law on payment of bonus and payment of gratuity Act. Since we have law for these areas, things are very clear. We know that what all should be done and what all should be avoided. But when it comes to compensation and benefit, there is no law in HR which speaks about CTC and Excel designing on salary breakup formation. There is no law which says that this is the way in which CTC should be designed or salary should be formed. There are few laws in India which speaks about payment. Let's have a look. We have an act by the name of Minimum Wages Act. There is an act by the name of Payment of Wages Act. There is an act by the name of Payment of Bonus Act. And then we have an act by the name of Equal Remuneration Act. Minimum Wages Act takes care of paying minimum wages for scheduled employment. This speaks about paying certain minimum wages to the workers category. This act do not take care of each and every employee. Payment of wages speaks about payment should be made timely and there should not be any illegal deductions from the wages. But again, this act takes care of only those employees whose monthly salaries are 24,000 per month or less. This act also do not take care of each and every employee. The Payment of Bonus Act speaks about bonus payment or profit sharing by the company. And again, this cover only those employees whose monthly salaries are 21,000 per month or less. The act by the name of Equal Remuneration Act speaks about paying similar wages to all the gender. On the basis of gender, there should not be any discrimination is something which this act is taking care of. The new labor law, which was supposed to come from April 2021, but things went on hold. The new labor law is combining all these act into one. So whenever that new labor law would be coming, all these act would be getting combined into one, which is Code on Wages 2019. In today's demo session, we would be understanding what is compensation. We would also be understanding separately what are benefits. We would be seeing how compensation and benefit is designed, what are the various steps and components which needs to be taken care of while designing the CTC and Excel. We would also be understanding few real offer letters which has been issued by our client to our candidate. And finally, we would be preparing a CTC and Excel in an Excel sheet for better understanding. Before I proceed further, just wanted to have an idea on the topic. There would be a statement, there would be a poll also. The statement is like this. The net take-home salaries of all employees getting a CTC of 10 lakhs in 10 different companies would be same. The poll is live, everyone. Let us know if the net take-home salaries of all the employees getting a CTC of 10 lakhs but working in 10 different companies would be same or not. We will follow the same rule. Once we receive 80% of the total response, we will proceed. We have received 80% of the total response. Let me end the poll and share you the result. 90% feels that no, it would not be same, whereas there are 10% of the population who feels that yes, take-home salary would be same of all the employees who are working in 10 different companies but taking same CTC. The correct answer is no. Take-home salary would never be same for all the employees working in different companies, even if they are working on same CTC. Why it would not be same? Because CTC and Excel designing differ from company to company. Why it differ? Because there is no law which is asking us or advising us that CTC should be designed in a particular way. So we would be seeing in the coming slide also, CTC and Excel designing differ from company to company, and net take-home salary would not be same of all the employees who are working in 10 different companies, even if they are on same CTC. So let's try to understand what exactly is compensation and what is benefit. Compensation is defined as the total amount of monetary pay provided to an employee. In simpler words, it is the money given for the work. Whatever salary, money, or hard cash which you get every month against the work we have done is called as compensation. Money, salary, or hard cash which comes to you every month is called as compensation. If it is this is compensation, what is benefit? Benefits are all non-financial forms of compensation offered in addition to cash salary. Over and above the monthly salary which you get, you also get a number of benefits from your company for which you do not get any kind of money in your hand, but you get good amount of perks, facility, and benefit. All those perks and facilities which you get from your company for which you do not get any kind of money in your hand is called as benefit. So if I have to define compensation and benefit in one line, it would be like this: the salary or money one gets is compensation. The facilities and perks one avail are benefit. Let's have a look on what comes under compensation and what comes under benefit. Compensation, which is the monetary part of compensation package, things like basic pay, all allowances, it can be travel allowance, meal allowance, housing, or medical, which are paid in the form of money, comes under compensation. All commissions, incentives, overtime payment, bonuses, profit sharing, stock options, all these things are paid in the form of money. Hence, they comes under compensation. What comes under benefit, for which employee do not get any kind of money in their hand, but they get good amount of facilities and benefit. Things like holidays and leaves, welfare facilities and cafeteria, all infrastructure facilities, reward and recognition, insurance and medical coverage. Companies are giving good amount of insurance and medical coverage to the employees, for which employee do not get any kind of money in their hand. Their risk is covered and they get good amount of facilities. Retirement benefits. During COVID time, companies has gone for n number of wellness program on the basis of mental wellness or health wellness, for which employee do not get any kind of money, but they get good amount of facilities. So all these benefits or facilities or perks which employee get from their company, for which company spend good amount of money, comes under benefit. Few examples of benefits are health insurance, dental insurance, life insurance, which is one of the most widely accepted benefit in India. You will see that almost all the companies in India are giving life insurance, retirement plan, gym and fitness. There are many companies who are giving membership for gym and fitness. For which employee do not get any kind of money, but they enjoy good amount of benefit. So these comes under benefit. Vision care, personal leave, sick leave, higher education. Many companies sponsor higher education for their employee, child care, paid leave, and many more. Benefit differ from company to company. Very similar to CPC and Excel designing, there is no law in India which says that company has to give these amount of benefit. Very similar to CPC and Excel designing, there is no law which speaks about benefit. Not giving any benefit is not illegal. It is always good to give benefit to attract and retain people and take care of emergencies. What should be the number of benefit and what should be the quantity or quantum of benefit differ from company to company. Bigger companies give more number of benefit to the employee, smaller companies give lesser number of the employee. Following are purely a choice of employer. What all benefits should be given, again, is something which is decided by the company and which differ from company to company. How much benefit should be given is again differ from company to company, and there is no law which is saying that these many benefits has to be given by the employer. So let's try to understand how compensation and benefits are decided. Whenever companies go for hiring anyone, what is the salary should be paid is getting decided by how. Entire compensation can be divided into two broad categories. One is salary, another is wages. The word salary is normally used for all payments which are paid to management cadre of employees, and the word wages is normally used for all payments which are paid to workers. So management people gets salary and the worker gets wages. Let's try to understand how salaries are getting decided. The factor deciding salaries are job evaluation. This is still one of the most scientific approach of deciding what should be paid to any particular job or role. This job evaluation is a comparative study of two jobs. Under this, things like job analysis, job description, and job specification comes. Factor deciding salaries are education and experience. On the basis of education and experience, you will see that salaries are getting decided. On the basis of demand and supply, also salary for many roles are getting decided. When I'm saying that demand and supply, I'm referring to what is the demand of that category of manpower in the market and what is the supply of that category of manpower. In other words, what is the demand of that kind of skill set and what is the supply of that kind of skill set in the market. On the basis of demand and supply of any particular skill set or any particular category of profile, the salaries are getting decided. Salaries are also getting decided on the basis of what is paid to the similar nature of jobs. Again, I am referring to the very first point of job evolution. Salaries are also getting decided on the basis of industries or ability to pay. There are many industries who are not doing that great, like carpet industry, tea gardens, and to some extent manufacturing industries. These industries are not doing that great in comparison to other industries like telecom, insurance, e-commerce. So these companies are doing better than the other industries. So on the basis of ability to pay of the industries, the salaries are getting decided. You will see that any manager HR who is joining insurance company or telecom companies are getting paid higher than those who are joining carpet making companies or manufacturing setup or any tea garden. So on the basis of ability to pay of the industries, salaries are also getting decided. And we will be seeing in the coming slide that on the basis of location or cost of living, you will see that salaries are getting decided. Now let's try to understand how the wages are decided. The wages which are paid to worker. Wages are majorly decided by the individual state government, which is called as minimum wages. Every state in India has decided minimum wages for their states. Every state has categorized worker into 3 or 4 categories like unskilled, semi-skilled, and skilled. And every 6 month government notifies that this is the minimum wages which needs to be paid. So the payment which is paid to workers are majorly decided by the state government. Every individual state in India has decided minimum wages for their state. You will see that Maharashtra has got their own minimum wages, whereas Delhi has got their different minimum wages. Let's try to understand how state government decide what should be the minimum wages for their category of worker. So minimum wages are getting decided on the basis of cost of living or location. It is also getting decided on the basis of education. If you see the minimum wages circular of the government, it says that for matriculate, this much would be the minimum wages. For graduate people, this should be the minimum wages. And for postgraduate people, this should be the minimum wages. Wages are also getting decided whenever any state government goes for deciding the minimum wages for their state, they invite the important labor unions and they have a good say in the meeting. Industries and ability to pay. On the basis of industries, minimum wages differ. You will see that whenever government declare the minimum wages, it differ on the basis of industries. For agriculture sector, there is a different set of minimum wages. For mining industries, there is a different set of minimum wages, and for manufacturing sector, the minimum wages are different. Government also declare minimum wages for different industries. And supply and demand, which we have understood in the previous slide, on the basis of demand and supply of any particular kind of manpower on any particular kind of skill set, the wages or salaries are getting decided. This is taking me to question for which I do not have any poll. You all can revert on the chat box. So the scenario is like this. The minimum wages of Bihar for unskilled worker is 7,592, which means that if you are planning to hire any unskilled worker in Bihar, this is the minimum wages which you need to pay. Paying below this in Bihar is illegal. If you want to hire same category of manpower in Delhi, the minimum wages is 15,908 rupees. In Delhi, paying below this to unskilled worker would be illegal. Now the question which I want to put in front of you is, if the worker which you have hired in Bihar at the rate of 7,592 gets transferred to Delhi, do you think that this person will be getting higher salary as per the minimum wages of Delhi, even if the worker is not required to do anything extra or there is no extra skill set which is required? Kindly let me know in the chat box if the same person who has got hired in Bihar gets transferred to Delhi, will he be getting higher wages as per the minimum wages of Delhi? So almost all of you have said yes. Now let me know why this person would be getting higher salary. He is not required to do anything extra, neither any extra skill set is required. Why this person would be getting higher salary? Cost of living, cost of living. Yes, you all are correct because minimum wages of Delhi is high. And why minimum wages of Delhi is high? Because it is decided on the basis of many factors, which we have seen in the previous slide. Cost of living and location is one of them. So you all are correct. Yes, this person will be getting higher minimum wages as per the Delhi. Now this again is taking me to another question, which is like this, and for which I am not asking for any answer. This is a food for thought. Think over it and try to find out the correct answer. What if the same person gets transferred back to Bihar from Delhi? You have increased the salary of this person when the person gets transferred from Bihar to Delhi. Now, what if the same person gets transferred back to Bihar from Delhi? Can the salary be reduced? I'm not asking for answer. This is a food for thought. Try to find out the correct answer. Let's proceed with the demo, everyone. Thank you for your active participation. So there is a poll again which is coming for which there is no right or wrong answer. We conduct this survey just to find out what is the general feeling. Kindly let us know which is the must-have attribute to make someone the preferred choice during an interview. Which is the must-have attribute to make someone the preferred choice during an interview? Is it communication skill? Is it practical skills and knowledge, or it is degree or certification? The poll is live, everyone. As I said, there is no wrong or right answer to this. We conduct a survey to understand the normal feeling. And we will follow the same rule. Once we receive 80% of the total response, we will close the poll and I will share you the result. Today lot is really fast. We have already crossed 90% of the total voting. Let me end the poll and share you the result. As I said, there is no right or wrong answer. Majority, 60% of the people has voted for practical skills and knowledge, whereas 38% feels that it is communication skill, which is important. It is surprising to see that 2%, only 2% has voted for degrees and certification. So there is no wrong or right answer. Majority has voted for practical skills and knowledge. Let's proceed for the time being. So there are few terms which you must have heard during your day-to-day life or day-to-day working. These terms, let's try to understand these terms. There is a word by the name of total monthly gross salary. Then there is a term by the name of net take-home salary, and there is a word by the name of cost of the company, which I'm sure that everybody must have heard. There is one more word by the name of C2C. If anyone has heard this word, I would request you to forget this word C2C. There is no word like this in compensation and benefit or in HR. Let's try to understand what exactly is monthly gross salary, net take home salary, and CTC. Monthly gross salary or total salary. The total monthly earning before deduction or contribution is called as monthly gross salary. Whatever was payable to an employee before any kind of deductions or contribution is called as monthly gross salary or total salary. Net salary or take home salary. The name itself is very self-explanatory. The net payable salary after all deductions or contribution. Whatever comes in the hand of employee after all deductions or contribution is called as net salary or the salary which you take to home. CTC or cost of the company is the total amount company is spending on an employee. There is again a poll. Kindly let me know if basic salary and monthly gross salary can be same. I am sharing you two examples. There is one company who is giving offer like this. Company is mentioning basic salary as 45,000, house rent allowance is 0, conveyance allowance is 0, and the total monthly salary is 45,000. There is another company who is giving offer like this, where only basic salary is mentioned as 50,000 and the total gross monthly salary is 50,000. What I wanted to know from all of you is, can the basic salary and monthly gross salary be same? The poll is live, everyone. Kindly share your responses. So we have received 80% of the vote. Let me close the poll and share you the result. 78% feels that no, basic salary and monthly gross salary cannot be same, whereas 22% of the population feels that yes, basic salary and monthly salary can be same. The correct answer is yes. Basic salary and monthly salary can be same. Allowances are purely a choice of employer. Any company who want to pay allowances are free to do that. Any company who do not want to pay any allowances are free to do that as well. CTC and Excel designing differ from company to company. Paying allowances is purely a choice of employer. Any company who is not paying allowances are not doing anything wrong. All those companies who are paying allowances are also doing good. So in the coming slide or in the actual classes, we understand that what can be the various possibility of CTC and Excel designing. And yes, both the salary structure, which is flashing on the screen, are correct. And the correct answer is yes, basic salary and gross salary can be seen. So now this is something which is very important. Whenever you have decided that this is the salary which would be paying to any person, how you are going to design that? How are compensation and benefits designed? So the entire process or steps of designing compensation and package can be divided into 5 steps or 5 processes. The very first step of designing compensation package is fixed pay or base pay. You need to decide what should be the fixed pay or base pay. Under this, we take a call on what should be the basic salary of the person and what should be the dearness allowance. If applicable, dearness allowance is something which is normally found with government organization. In private organization, you will hardly find dearness allowance. So as a very first step, you need to decide what should be the basic salary of the person and what should be the dearness allowance if it is applicable in your company. Once you are done with the first step, as a second step, you need to decide what are the allowances which needs to be paid. Whatever allowances your companies are paying, you need to include those allowances. Allowances can be on account of house rent allowance, conveyance allowance, medical allowance, special allowance, telephone allowance, internet, and other. As I said, allowances are purely a choice of employer. Whatever allowances you want to pay, again, depends upon company choice. Company decide whatever suits them and their employee. Once you are done with these 2 steps, third step is retirals or statutory compliances. This is not something which you decide. This comes from the labor law point of view. So in the third step, you need to calculate whatever your company is contributing to government on account of statutory contributions. And this can be on account of Provident Fund, ESIC, Labor Welfare Fund, gratuity and bonus. Labor Welfare Fund is state specific rule which differ from state to state. Many state has got labor welfare fund, many state do not have labor welfare fund. And gratuity and bonus are something which are included into CTC by 50% of the companies, and there are 50% of the company who do not include gratuity and bonus, and both are correct. Once you are done with 3 steps, the fourth step is to add the cost of perks and benefit which your company is providing. This can be on account of medical insurance, life insurance, club membership, vision, or higher education. Whatever perks and benefit your company is providing to the employee, you can add the cost to that. You can add the cost of that benefit in the CTC and Excel. And as a last step, you need to include the variable pay or incentive if the position is something which is responsible to achieve certain kind of target, and on the basis of achievement of that target, if the person is getting paid, you can add the cost of that. The various names which has been given to variable pay or incentives are performance incentive, which is also known as PLI, performance linked incentive. Many companies call it as performance bonus. Many companies are paying bonus on company's performance. And then there are many companies who pay bonus on long service. So these are the 5 steps. Once you do all these 5 steps, your entire CTC or CNB package designing would be complete. So we have seen that the steps or components of CNB package are base pay or fixed pay, then deciding the allowances, working on the statutory compliances, adding the cost of perks and benefit, and adding the variable pay if the position is related to incentive earning. You will see that there are many offers which do not have variable pay. You will also see that there are many CTC and Excel or offer letter which do not include perks and benefit. You can also see that there are many offer letters of CTC and Excel which do not have allowances. There are few expert HR who are capable of excluding statutory compliances also. Law can also be, you can beat the law. But you will never see a CTC annexure or compensation package which is without base pay or fixed pay. This we discuss in the actual classes. Now let's try to understand how the net salary can be calculated, how gross salary can be calculated, and how CTC can be calculated. If you add basic salary and allowances, the first two steps of CTC annexure designing, it will take you to gross salary. If you subtract employee contribution, whatever contribution employee is making to government, if you subtract that from the monthly gross salary, it will reach to take home salary. And if you add all employer contribution, employer also contribute to government every month on behalf of employee. If you add employer contribution to the monthly gross salary, it will take you to the cost of the company. Now, once you are going to design the compensation package for any person, there are various compensation models. The very first compensation model is traditional. Traditional model of compensation package is a package in which entire CNP structure is decided by the company and employee do not have any choice. Employee cannot decide whatever has been offered or given. Employee has to simply accept that. Flexible model of compensation package. Flexible model of compensation package is a package where employee has a freedom to choose salary component from the basket of component offered by the company. We would be seeing an example in the coming slide. And third, obviously, is a combination of both, where few parts are flexible and most of the parts are decided and fixed by the company. So this is an example of traditional model of compensation package in which basic salary and all allowances are decided and fixed by the employer. Employee has no choice. Employee cannot take a call to change these salary heads or salary component. Neither employee has any freedom to change this amount. Entire salary breakup or salary annexure is decided and fixed by the company. Hence, this is called as traditional model of compensation package. This is an example of flexible model of compensation package in which company has decided to pay 60,000 as gross salary. Out of 60,000, company has decided basic salary is 25,000 and 35,000 has been put under flexi compensation package. Now, the employee is free to take 35,000 either among all these allowances or among two allowances or any one allowances. If employee want, employee can take 35,000 as conveyance allowance. Employee is free to divide 35,000 among two allowances. And if employee wants, employee can divide entire 35,000 among all the allowances. So in this model, employee has the freedom to choose their flexi component in which all salary head the person wants to take salary and what all amount the person wants to take is something which is decided by the employee. Hence, this is called as flexible model of compensation package. Now, let's have a look on few of the real offer letters which has been issued by our client to our candidate and try to understand how CTC annexure designing differ from company to company. So this is first set of offer letter in which you will see that company is mentioning a net take home salary of 1,07,034 rupees. The total CTC offered is 13,30,008 rupees. But at the bottom, you will see that company is also mentioning that there will be an additional monthly deduction towards Mediclaim insurance. This company is taking the cost of benefit from the employee. So the employee would be contributing for Mediclaim insurance, which means the net take home salary, which is mentioned, will further go down. You will see that company is mentioning all this variable pay or performance bonus. Second line says that you are also eligible for max performance linked quarterly incentive of 66,500. Third statement says that you will also be eligible for max performance linked bonus of 2,66,000. So this company is not including variable pay in the CTC. You will see that the provident fund contribution is 1,800 only, whereas the basic salary is 55,407, which means this company is limiting the PF contribution to 1,800 only, which is legally correct, and which we understand that what are the various possibility of contributing to provident fund. You will also see that bonus is something which is coming in the monthly gross salary. We have seen in the previous slide that bonus and gratuities are statutory compliances which comes after the gross salary, but in this company offer letter, you will see that the bonus has been added in the gross salary. So bonus is a part of monthly salary and is not a part of annual CTC. And in nowhere in the CTC annexure, gratuity is mentioned. This company is not including the cost of gratuity in the CTC, which is legally okay. Let's have a look on another offer letter. This is another offer letter in which there is one component by the name of leave travel allowance, and for which the company is asking the employee whether the employee wants to take this amount as leave travel allowance or want to add this amount into monthly special allowance. So there is a freedom with one component with the employee. This is a combined model of compensation package. Rest all salary components are fixed and decided by the company, where employee do not have any choice. You will see that company is mentioning provident fund contribution as 4,434, and the basic salary is only 36,950, which is lesser than the previous basic salary. But PF contribution is higher than the previous contribution. So this company is not limiting their provident fund contribution on 1,800, and they are contributing on the entire basic salary. You will also see that this offer letter contains gratuity as a CTC component. This company is adding gratuity in the CTC. This is the last and set of offer letter. This is something which is very flexible in nature. You will see that company is offering 10 lakhs as a total CTC. Out of 10 lakhs, company has decided 5 lakh 8,000 into the flexible compensation package. Now, the employee has a choice to choose salary account on which all salary account the employee want to take salary, and how much amount or how much money the employee want to take is something which the employee would be deciding. Provident fund is the part of CTC, which is not limited to 1,800. You will also see that variable pay or incentive is a part of CTC, and company is adding that. In the bottom, in the red box, you will see that all these perks and benefits are mentioned, and this company is not including the cost of these benefits into CTC, not even the gratuity. So all these benefits and the gratuity are not a part of CTC. If you add the total CTC, it will be very high than the 10 lakhs, which is mentioned in the monetary form. So we have seen offer letters. Now let's try to understand whatever we have seen the steps of CTC and Excel. Let's try to make one from the Excel sheet. So I have taken a monthly CTC of 21,000 intensely because I want to include ESIC in the calculation. All those employees whose monthly salaries are 21,000 or less comes under ESIC, and all those employees whose monthly salaries are more than 21,000 do not comes under ESIC. So give me a moment. So we have allowed your mic. You all can unmute yourself and speaks also. Let me help with the CTC and Excel designing. Let's try to make a salary breakup of 21,000 per month CTC. So we need to break this 21,000 into into the salary component. So we have seen that the very first step of CNB designing is what we need to decide on the base salary or fixed salary, base or fixed salary, and under this we identify what should be the basic salary of the person. So let's decide the basic salary. Anybody who can guide us what should be the basic salary for this person? Basic salary is normally kept as 40 to 50% of CTC. Why it is kept as 40 to 50%? There is no law which is saying that basic has to be 40 to 50% of CTC. This is done by almost all the HR professionals since long. So everybody is doing like this. As a HR professionals, you can keep 60%, 80%, and 90% also. So let's try to follow whatever is the normal practice. Let's try to keep 50% of this as basic salary. So we have done what is the normal practice. Otherwise, there is no law which is saying that basic has to be 40 or 50% of CTC. The new law which is about to come would be talking about this, because that is saying that allowances should be limited to 50%. So rest 50% has to be basic salary. So we are done with the first step. We have decided the basic salary, which is 50% of monthly CTC. Now, in the second step, we have seen that we need to add allowances, whatever allowances your company is paying. So anybody who can help me with the allowances, what all allowances we can keep? Let me decide the very first one, HRA or house rent allowance. House rent allowance is something which is kept by almost all the companies. This is one of the widely accepted allowances you will find with almost all the companies. And how much HRA we can keep? HRA is kept as 40 to 50% of basic salary. Why it is 40 to 50%? it is getting governed by the Income Tax Act. Income tax rules says that 40 to 50% of basic salary as HRA would be income tax free. So if the person is staying in a metro city, you can go up to 50% of basic salary as HRA. And if the person is staying in a non-metro city, you should keep 40% of basic as HRA. Let's assume that this person is staying in a non-metro city. So we can keep 40% of basic salary as HRA. This much amount would be income tax free from income tax point of view. This is why most of the companies are going for HRA, and this is why HRA is decided as 40 or 50%. So any other allowances which you want to guide me? Sorry guys, is my screen visible and my voice audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, the internet got disconnected. So we are done with one allowances. Any other allowances which you want to keep or you want to suggest? Let's try to have telephone allowances. You can, as an employer or as HR, you are free to keep any allowances you want to keep. So what should be the amount under telephone allowance? We should keep any logical amount which seems good for telephone allowance. So how much amount we should keep in telephone? We can keep 1500, which seems okay to have under telephone allowances. What other allowances we can do? Let me pick the one which is selected by many of the HR professionals by the name of special allowance. So there is nothing special with the special allowance, but you will see that most of the companies are going for this. This allowance is normally used as a adjusting amount. Whatever amount would be leaving behind at the end, the HR professional wants to put that amount to match the CTC figure. So let's follow the same rule. We are not putting an amount. Let's try to put in other cells, and whatever amount which would be coming as a difference, we would be putting that amount into a special allowance. And we have seen that if you add basic salary and allowances, you will reach to what? Gross salary. So let's try to find out what gross salary we have reached so far. We have reached 16,200, and we are done with two steps: first and second base salary and allowances. As a third step, we need to work on statutory compliances. So let's take PF by employee. Anybody who can guide me how much provident fund employer contribute? Employer contribute 12 plus 1%, means employer contribute 13% to provident fund government. You must be thinking that it is 12%. Yes, 12% plus 1% extra is contributed by employer, and employer contribute this 1% extra on account of EDLI, which is a life insurance for employees, and PF admin charges. 0.5% goes into PF admin charges and 0.5 goes as EDLI contribution. So employer contribute 13% to PF government. Let's try to find out 13% contribution. I am calculating it on gross salary. Many must be thinking that PF is calculated on basic salary, but in this case, if we calculate PF on basic salary, it would be wrong. Yet there are various possibilities in which provident fund can be contributed. If this is the salary breakup, PF can be contributed by employer. Employer can contribute on 15,000 by capping the limit. We have seen there is one offer letter in which company was contributing only 1800. 1800 PF contribution means the company is limiting their contribution on 15,000, which is legally correct. If this is the salary, employer can decide to contribute on 15,000 only. If this is the salary, employer can choose to contribute on the total basic salary of 16,000 also. Employer is free to contribute on the total monthly salary of 30,000 also. And employer is also free to contribute on gross salary minus HRA, which is 22,000. And employee has got one more added advantage and one more option. If employee want, employee can contribute 100% of his basic as voluntary PF. And why this confusion has come? There was a Supreme Court judgment in July 2019 where Supreme Court has given good judgment regarding the PF contribution, and entire scenario of Provident Fund had changed after that. People normally it is understood that basic wages and basic salary are same, but the confusion was this only: basic wages and basic salaries are not the one and same thing. There is hell lot of difference, and we understand in our class what exactly is basic wages and what are basic salary. So PF is contributed as 13% by the employer, and yes, this can be contributed on many salary components. In the current salary component, it has to be contributed on 16,200. HRA is something which we can exclude. Now let's try to calculate ESIC by employer. Anyone who can help me, how much ESIC contribution companies make every month? Companies contribute 3.25% to ESIC government every month, yes. And there is no confusion. This contribution is calculated on gross salary. So we are done with two major contributions which company would be making every month for this employee. Any other statutory compliances if you want to add, you can add that. You can add gratuity, you can add bonus, you can add LWF. But for a person who is getting 21,000, if you add this, very less would be coming in the hand of people. So we are ignoring this, we are avoiding this. But as a HR or as a company, you can add the cost of gratuity, bonus, and labor welfare fund as well. We are done with the third step also. In the fourth step, we have seen that as an employer or as HR, you can add the cost of whatever benefit we are providing. Let's try to, let's assume that this company is providing medical benefit to the person or the Mediclaim insurance. So for which normally, what is the spend? Normally companies spend 200 rupees per month for employee. So we have added this cost also. This cost company would be spending for this employee every month. So we are done with fourth step also. And third step was what? Variable pay. If the position is something which is related to target achievement, and on the basis of target achievement, if the person would be getting any kind of variable pay, we can add the cost of that. So performance bonus, let's give this name and assume that if the person achieves the target, he would be getting 600. Now, we have seen in the CTC and NXT designing that if you add gross salary with the whatever cost the employer is incurring, you will reach to the cost of the company. Let's try to find out what cost of the company we have reached so far. We are trying to reach to 21,000. So I am adding gross salary plus all the contributions or cost which employee would be incurring. So we have reached to a CTC of 19,633, but we are looking for a CTC of 21,000. What is the difference? 21,000 minus CTC. So there is a difference of 1368. Now this cell has become active. Now HR professionals would try to add 1368 in this special cell allowance. Let's try to add that and let's try to see whether we are reaching to the desired figure of 21,000 or not. I'm adding 1368. So we have not reached. We have crossed the CTC figure. Now the amount which is coming is 21,223. 223 is extra. Now what this HR professional would try to do, he would try to subtract 223. Let's see, by subtracting 223, we are reaching to 21,000 per month CTC or not? No, again, there is a difference of 36. So let's add 36. Again, we have not reached. There is a difference of 5. Let's subtract 5. Now we have reached. So now we have reached to the desired figure of 21,000, which we are trying to find out. So this is how the breakup of 21,000 per month CTC would look. We have designed it. We have designed with lot number of manual activities. Now I am shifting to my another sheet, which is this entire sheet is formula driven. You go to any cell and you will see that some kind of formula is levied. In this cell, this is the formula. In this cell, this is the formula. In this cell, this is the formula. So the entire sheet is formula driven. And we have used advanced Excel. Now let's try to find out the breakup of 21,000 per month, which we did in the previous sheet. So there is an option by the name of data. Go into data. Under data, you will find an option by the name of what if analysis. Select that. Under what if analysis, you will find 3 options. Select the goal seek. Goal seek is a formula which will ask you 3 things. Set the cell. Means Excel is asking me to select the cell in which I am looking for value. I have selected this CTC wala cell. The second question which Excel is asking me is to value. What is the value which I am looking for? We are looking for 21,000 in this cell. I have mentioned that also. As a third and last question, Excel is asking me by changing cell. Excel is asking me to allot a cell in which Excel would be trying by putting different value. Now I am allotting this cell to Excel. I have given three answers to Excel. The cell in which I am looking for value, the value which I am looking for, and the cell which is allotted to Excel for doing calculation. Let's give a closer look. Once I click OK, you will see that entire calculations are getting calculated automatically. We are done with the breakup of 21,000. So this is how the salary breakup should be calculated. And this in the actual classes, we teach how this Excel sheet can be formed. Let's try to have another figure which is not that good. So again, under data, go to option by the name of what if analysis. What if analysis will be having goal seek. Goal seek would be asking you three things. Set the cell in which you are looking for value. I have selected this cell in which I am looking for value. Now, what is the value which I am looking for? Let's have something odd. 989789. This can be a CTC figure for someone. Okay, let me be slightly slow. I hope my voice is okay now. You all can speak also.
No, sir, your voice is getting breaks. Hello.
Okay. My main internet has got disconnected. In fact, I am connected
Yeah,
on
yes,
it.
sir.
So I would be trying to slightly slow so that the voice will not break. So coming back to track, again, we are trying to find out salary breakup of a CTC, which is not that normal one.
Sir, can you please repeat again, sir? Actually, from
no issues.
Last 15 minutes, not.
Okay, fine. So let me show you how this automated CTC calculator works, which is made on advanced Excel. There is an option by the name of data. Under data, there is an option by the name of what if analysis. Go into that. You will be having three options. Select goal seek. Goal seek would be asking you three things. Set the cell. Select the cell in which you are looking for value. I did that. I have selected CTC Wala cell. Second question which Excel would be asking is to value. What is the value which you are looking for? Let's have something odd. 896578. This can be a CTC figure for someone for which we would be trying to find out breakup. And as a third and final question Excel asks is, which is the cell in which I can try by using different value? And I am allotting this cell. I have answered three things. Which is the cell in which I am looking for value? What is the value which I am looking for? And this is the cell for Excel for doing calculation. So once I click OK, you will see that the entire CTC breakup would be getting calculated. It is rounding it off. So this have not taken a second. So we have got the entire breakup of a very odd figure. Similarly, you can find out monthly gross salary. You can also find out net take home salary. So this is the way in which salary breakup should be designed. And we teach in the class that how you can make this salary automated CTC calculator. And there are in the very beginning, we have asked that whether the take home salary of all the employees getting same CTC and working in different company would be same or not. Here is the example. There are three companies, company A, company B, and company C. All these three companies are offering a CTC of 7 lakhs. But you will see that the net take home salary is different. Company A is giving a net take home salary of 49,313. Company B is giving a net take home salary of 4495, and company C is giving a net take home salary of 38,991. Why take home salary is different? Because there is no law which is saying that CTC should be designed in this particular way. This company has not included gratuity, mediclaim, and GPA. This company do not have variable pay. So and you will see that the basic is also different. So CTC and Excel designing differ from company to company, and hence on the basis of CTC, it is very difficult to say that what should be the take-home salary. And there are a few other things which we discussed. We also discussed what are the tax-free component. Let me go back to my Excel sheet. This is what I wanted to on PPT. This is what I wanted to show in the Excel sheet. This is how the salary breakup can be made or calculated. So among the CTC package, this is the monthly salary which is offered to the employee. This is the cost employer is incurring and wants to show. Sowing or not sowing is purely an employer choice. Any company who do not want to sow are free to do that. All those companies who are sowing that, they are saying that this is what we are spending on you. Not sowing or not mentioning is not an excuse to avoid law. You cannot say that in the offer letter or CTC annexure, we have not mentioned gratuity. Now we would not be paying you that. Paying this legal or statutory compliances come from the labor law point of view. Whether you mention as an employer or you do not mention as an employer is your choice. Mentioning or not mentioning is not an excuse. You have to pay those legal liabilities to the employee from the labor law point of view. And many companies shows the net take home salary, which is purely a choice of the employer. So if you want to pay 50,000 to any employee, we have seen that 50,000 can be paid in this way without having any kind of allowances. 50,000 per month can also be paid in this way. 50,000 per month can also be paid in this way. And if you want, 50,000 per month can also be paid in this way. All these four salary breakups are legally correct. But if you want to pay 50,000 in this way, or in this way, or in this way, these are not correct. These are legally not correct, and we understand in the actual classes why it is not correct and what are the various possibility of 50,000, in how many ways it can be paid. So let's keep this due to, so we have seen that what is compensation, and we have also understood that what are benefit. We have also seen that how compensation and benefits are designed, what are the various steps and components which should be taken into consideration while designing the CTC annexure. We have understood offer letter. We have seen that this offer letter is differing from company to company. Many are including gratuity, many are including not including gratuity. Some company are calculating provident fund on some other component. Other companies are calculating provident fund on other component. A few companies are taking the cost of benefit from the employee. And finally, we have prepared a CNB structure in an Excel sheet for a better understanding. So this is I wanted to share in today's demo class. And COVID scenario, we have seen that how many layoffs and retrenchment has happened. In the time which are yet to come, you will see that companies are becoming choosy to hire the best. Company would be merging multiple jobs, multiple roles, and they would be creating one. Preference would be given to all those people who are multi-skilled or trained. If you are good at recruitment, you need to be good at other function of HR. By remaining good at only one function of HR, going too far would not be possible. Survival of the fittest, which has been given by Darwin long time back. All those who are updated and skilled would be given preference. Supply of talent is more than the demand nowadays. In the market, talent is available like anything. So now competition has really become tough. No company wants to give training or wants to spend much amount on employees training. They are looking for all employees. They are looking for person who are ready to start from day one. And we have seen from the survey that practical skills and knowledge are something which is more in demand. So let me thank you. Before we close or open the session for question and answer, let's be the preferred choice of hiring organization, enhance your skills and knowledge. This is what we are offering. The first model is of labor laws and statutory compliances. Anybody who wants to go for only first model, the fee is 2,000. Anybody who wants to go only for the second model of compensation and benefit, the cost is 1,500. And anybody who wants to go only for recruitment and selection, the fee is 1,000. Anybody who wants to go for the entire course, there is a good discount of 3,500, and the entire course can be done at minimum fee of 3,500. I would be sharing you the recording of today's. So this is the course content. Statutory compliances has got 5 classes. Compensation and benefit has got 3 classes. Recruitment and selection has got 2 classes. There will be total 10 classes. And total fee, if you add, is coming to 4,500. But the entire course can be done at a discounted fee of 3,500 if anyone is going for the entire course. And some important course content, the course duration is 10 classes. Classes happens on Saturday and Sunday. The timing is 4 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. Study material is given on each and every module and topic. Whatever classes we conduct, the entire live classes gets recorded, and you get the recording of the live class also on the very same day, which remain with you, and you can watch the recording for n number of times as per your convenience. We conduct regular practice tests after every topic and after every module. This practice test is conducted only to understand where exactly we are in terms of learning, how the learning is going on. And then there is a certificate of the completion of training, which is ISO 9000 certified one. We support fully offline doubts and clarification. You can speak to us any moment for understanding anything. And let's see how the course flow or admission happens. We start with module 1 of labor laws, for which there are 5 classes. After completing this, we move to module 2 of compensation benefit, for which there are 3 classes. After completing module 2, we move to module 3. And after completing module 3, we move to module 1. This is how the course continues. Admission, one can take admission when we are starting module 3. One can take admission when we are starting module 2. One can take admission when we are starting module 2. Next admission is happening from August 8th, Sunday. From this day, we would be starting the course from very beginning. From class 1, we would be starting from 8th August. So this is something which is better than other times. Anybody who is starting from 8th August, the person will be starting the course from very beginning. So this is the kind of certificate which we issue, and people are flashing it on LinkedIn, saying that they are certified HR professionals and they have completed online HR generalist practical training. These are few more good words which people are flashing on LinkedIn. We conducted webinar with Aligarh Muslim University. We conducted webinar with Sri Siddhi Vinayak College also, and recently we were invited by ISM Patna for conducting webinar. So this is all about the course and demo which we wanted to share. Now over to you. You all can ask any questions from the demo which we have seen, or anything from the course which you want to know. I would be sharing you the recording of today class to everyone. It would be reaching to you over mail along with the course detail. My mail has started going into junk and spam folder, so do check that. So be relaxed, the recording would be coming to you. Now over to you. My colleague is sharing LinkedIn and YouTube channel detail. If you visit the LinkedIn page, you would be able to see on which all opening we are working. There are many HR opening now available on which we are working. If you visit the YouTube channel, you will see that there are many tutorials which are available. I am done. My colleague Preeti is there who would be helping in question and answer. Now over to you, everyone. You people are really nice audience. Anything from the demo which we have seen, if you want to understand or clarify, or anything related to the course. Yes, please.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yes, Raj. Okay, no questions, Rajesh?
I do have, sir. I will call tomorrow.
Okay,
the executive.
Okay.
Good, but my concern is not planning to start the classes. So let me discuss tomorrow, sir.
Sure.
And I'm really interested. I'll start as soon as possible.
So nice, Abhidhan. Both the numbers are my number only. I am very much active on WhatsApp and call. So you can call me any moment. You can send me WhatsApp also. So thank you, Rajesh, for your kind words. Sure. Anyone else wants to understand anything from the demo which we have seen, or anything from the course which we are offering?
Yeah.
I have one question, sir.
Yes, please.
Sir, actually, I want to go for the recruitment and selection. That's for 2 classes, sir.
Okay.
So, if actually I did an MBA, MBA in HR and marketing. If I select this one, that means recruitment and selection. Will I able to get my job opportunities from the companies?
Look, all these courses are practical in nature, and after doing this, you would be